South African Human Rights Commission's Western Cape office earlier this week gathered key players, including government, civil society, educators and community leaders, for an engagement on the devastating impact of gang violence on schools. The police's provincial ombudsman, General Oswald Reddy, has been investigating the complex and often dangerous dynamics between police and organized crime, which is essential to understanding the root of this crisis. General Reddy joins us now to discuss this more. General Reddy, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on AM Report this morning. It's a good morning to you. Let's just talk about perhaps the most crucial commitment and maybe actionable plans that came out of this engagement overall, because, man, it's a conversation we're having for decades now.
Yes, thank you. Good morning to the presenters and also to the viewers out there. You know, there are many plans in place, from the national anti-gang strategy, the provincial anti-gang strategy, the provincial community safety plan, etc. And there's still the challenge of escalating gang violence and especially targeting the schools and those areas. So this stakeholder engagement related to coming together and to understand what is going on and why are we not actually winning this battle against gangsterism, which is impacting the schools negatively. The Human Rights Commission Chair, Commissioner Chris Nissen, and also Commissioner Gungu Bela addressed this concern with some of the key stakeholders that attended the session. And one of the key issues that came out is that more needs to be done by all relevant role players. So the immediate thing is that the SAPS and the City of Cape Town law enforcement, etc., needs to work closely with the Department of Education. They are working currently together, but they need to step up the game in terms of deployments during crucial times at the problematic schools, those which are categorized as high risk, where gang activity is rife, especially in the mornings before school starts, during the day, patrols, etc., and also after school hours, so that the learners can feel much more safe in that environment.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worrying though.
The Commission will be presenting a report on the stakeholder engagement and the commitments and actionable points.
General Reddy, the concern, I suppose, for many is that now we're sitting with police presence in and around these children. Have schools stopped becoming the safe space that they used to be, that they should be? Because unfortunately now the police presence has to increase. The concerns around that area needs to be heightened as well. What do we do to fix it? Because I know you say more action needs to be done by all involved. What exactly is more action, particularly when you're inside a school?
Now, you see, this is a complex problem, and it requires many people collaborating together so that we can find sustainable solutions. I agree with you that schools are centers of learning, and it should actually be a safe space. Now, if we look at some of the actions that we are talking about, it's related to around the school, before the kids get into the school premises, and when they finish school and they are leaving, increasing those activities. If you look at what are the crime contributors in these areas that's causing these problems, number one is the availability and proliferation of firearms. There are too many guns on the streets. We need to get rid of those guns. The other problem is dangerous weapons. So how do we tackle that on the streets? It's through visible policing, stop and search, and arresting these criminals. Thirdly, the drug problem is a driver of the gang activity in the Western Cape. And if we target the known drug houses, those who are the kingpins that are involved in the drugs, that's going to assist that it does not impact on the learners and at the schools. Also focusing on the kingpins who are gangsters, dealing with them, getting them out of the system, and that will ensure that children can go to school without fear of violence and being shot.
Yeah, at the same time, with all of that at play, one says if you deal violence with violence, it really could be a messy affair. It could be a deadly affair, really, for all involved. So then the question I ask is, in general, is the South African Police Service well equipped for this? And I don't mean physically in terms of firearms, in terms of ammunition, etc. I'm now talking strategically and psychologically, being able to deal with students who may just be causing a racket while others may be a little bit more violent, being able to discern all of that. Is that the kind of training that is now needed too?
Yes, definitely. If you look at the type of training that the police receive, it relates to arrest and detention. But the police have already started, in fact, even while I was still there, moving towards a direction of social crime prevention. There were projects like Adopt a Cop, the school safety officer, the City of Cape Town law enforcement as school resource officers. So coming in to ensure proactive and preventative measures take place, where you talk to kids about the harmful effects of drugs, the harmful effects of alcohol, the harmful effects of joining the gangs, etc. So training is essential, education and awareness is essential. You cannot use a model that is not working to try and fix a problem. So you have to use the evidence-based policing approach to look at what is working and how can you do more of that. Then you review what is not working and you go back to the drawing board and develop a new plan so that you use the limited resources that you have for maximum operational impact.
Yeah. General Reddy, let's be blunt here. Can gang wars actually be stopped?
I believe it can be. The reason is that it's orchestrated and perpetrated by human beings. And policing is about controlling human behavior. So when we move away from strict law enforcement towards voluntary compliance with the law, we are then heading in the right direction. The problem starts from the home, where the discipline and control is lost at home. Parents cannot control their children. The children are actually ruling the household. Then the responsibility is passed on to the Department of Education. We expect educators to take care of our children, and that can't work. So every level has to take responsibility for their role. And when you start with the children at a young age, and you instill within them the morals and the values that of respect and trust, etc., you are then addressing the problems at the root cause.
Yeah.
We have to look at short, medium, and long-term solutions.
Yeah, I mean,
Many of the challenges are, like poverty, unemployment, etc., are medium to long-term. But in the short term, while the children are dying, there has to be measures that are put in place immediately to arrest the situation.
Is there political will for that to even happen?
I see the political will, both from a national and specifically the provincial level, in terms of the initiatives that are underway. You see, firearms cannot just move around freely in an area without anyone knowing about it. So the Western Cape Department of Education has a toll-free line where anyone, including learners, can actually provide information and maintain their confidentiality and anonymity. So, and if they use this number to phone in and provide information on the gangsters, the drug houses, where the firearms are kept, that is going to assist the police through an intelligence-led approach to then get these weapons and these drugs off the streets. Can I share that number with you?
Yes, please.
Yeah, the Western Cape Department of Education's toll-free number for safe schools is 0800 44 45 46 47. Very simple and easy number to remember.
Yeah.
0800 44 45 46 47. And the police also have a toll-free number. Their number is 0860 010 111. Let me repeat that. 08600 10 111. Information can be supplied and their identity is kept confidential.
All right, so you said the first number that you gave us, that 0800 44 45 46 47, is the Western Cape Department of Education's?
Yes, that's the Department of Education.
All right.
But they work collaboratively, close cooperation with the police and other key stakeholders.
Yeah.
So when the information comes in, they then action it so that it can receive attention.
Yeah.
And that there could be successes in terms of seizing of firearms and arresting of perpetrators.
All right. General, just to confirm then, that first number you gave us, it is 12 numbers though, is that correct?
Yes.
0800 44 45 46 47.
Yeah, so
okay.
that's the number I wrote down while we were sitting in the stakeholder engagement.
Okay, cool.
Maybe it's 44, 45, 46.
46 is where it ends. Okay, yeah. 46. All right. Thank you for that.
It was a simple number to remember.
You just
and
added
I didn't
one
write
more.
it down. I sort of memorized it.
Let me ask you this, perhaps, if we get near the close of our interview. If you had carte blanche, no budget constraints, no red tape, what are the 3 interventions that you would implement tomorrow to reclaim our schools from gangs?
Number 1 would be targeting the guns on the streets. The guns are causing the murders. We need to get rid of the guns. Very important.
How do you do that?
Let me include dangerous weapons with that. So that's one of the things. The second is the crime generator, which is your drug problem that you have. So if we deal with the known drug houses and you are able to close them down, that will ensure that the levels of violence comes down and that you are able to then work on strategies that make the area more safe and secure. And the third would be a collaborative effort between all key stakeholders. That would include your neighborhood watch, your community police forum, your school governing body, the South African Police Service, the Cape Town Metro Police. In fact, there isn't anyone who I can leave out. Because it's a complex issue, you would need each role player and each stakeholder to take responsibility for their area of responsibility. So that we can make the schools a safe place.
Very quickly, 30 seconds, how do we target those guns though? Because that's a big one and they're proliferating not just in one province, but around the country.
You see, it's important to determine where they're coming from, the source.
Yeah.
But whilst we're trying to determine that from an intelligence perspective, we need to create education and awareness campaigns and maybe even these handing back of firearms, the amnesty for a certain period of time where people can come and hand in their firearms to the police.
Yes.
But providing opportunities for parents, for siblings, for neighbors to phone in and provide that information that my son, my neighbor has a gun, and this is where the gun is kept. So that the police can then action that and remove the guns off the street. It will definitely make the country much more safe and secure.
That's all we want, safety and security. General Oswald Reddy, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, the Western Cape Police Ombudsman, to just talk about gangsterism and the effect that is having on educational access not just in the Western Cape, which of course is very prevalent and important, but certainly around the country. We've seen this happen time and time again. Appreciate your time, sir. Hopefully we can find that solution. It is part of our poll question, and we're asking you what can be done to protect school children from gang violence. Should we deploy more police, community awareness, plus SGB participation? What do you think should be a part of that? Scan the QR code, share your thoughts at Newzroom 405, #AM Report 405.